it's the same approach every week, especially, with this new team, new coaching staff and everything. I mean, it's been trying to dominate every week, 1-0 every week. I don't think we should, sit here and try and make everything bigger than what it is or listen to the rat poison like, the crowd noise on the outside. I think we stay focused on what we're doing. We'll like the outcome.
Texans linebacker Christian Harris and your beloved Houston Texans, they're focused. But you know who didn't look focused last night in a rematch of this past year's Super Bowl? Every single Kansas City Chiefs receiver, including just back from Argentina, Travis Kelce. That was a fun Monday Night Football game, but I found myself waking up today with delusions of possible Texans grandeur. Because I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. And I think anyone that is calling the Kansas City Chiefs dead after last night's loss in Monday Night Football, a game that went down to the wire, a game that the Philadelphia Eagles won 21-17. Anyone killing the Chiefs right now is a fool. We've done this before. But do Kansas City's offensive struggles not make you start thinking crazy stuff? There is no number one team in the AFC that's leaps and bounds ahead of everyone, including your Houston Texans. Focused on the task at hand, the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. And there's a good chance that on Monday we're talking about how, reality did strike the Texans. The Jaguars are clearly better at this moment in time. But after watching that Chiefs loss, I got to say, things feel possible this year. Does that mean Super Bowl? No. Does that mean one seed in the AFC? Maybe. Does that mean playoff run? Maybe. I feel crazy. I realize this is 100% me just living in the now on today, November 21st of 2023. But I thought the Chiefs were the best team in the AFC. And while I like that defense of theirs, definitely gave Jalen Hurts and company a lot of trouble early in the game, I think that Patrick Mahomes has receivers with worse hands than me. And I'll admit it. Even though I'm a flag football legend and an all-district safety at the lowest level of high school in Florida, I didn't have the best hands. They weren't very reliable. But the Chiefs can't catch a ball to save their life. They have two losses that are directly tied to drops. Remember week 1, Kadarius Toney, he drops that pass. Lions player picks it off, takes it to the house. Last night, Marquez Valdez-Scantling moving down the middle of the field, wide open, right off his hands. Right off his hands. I suppose Sean Mapes shaking his head a little bit. I suppose it wasn't quite wide open, but it's Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football. That's a great ball that he threw. Valdez-Scantling couldn't catch it. That other dude, what's his face? Watson, he had like 15 drops. Travis Kelce couldn't catch a ball. Kadarius Toney was even on the field. I hope not, because he probably dropped the pass. No one can catch Patrick Mahomes' balls. And I feel like the AFC is a little wide open right now. A little bit, because Kansas City is the best team in the conference. And yes, they lost to the NFC champions. And I know. Blah, 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 hyperbole, all that jazz. I'm just saying they looked very mortal. And that's happened to them before this year, which is why I think you can't just say, oh, it's just one game. No, they have had this issue a lot. And there's clearly something wrong with this offense in a post-Tyreek Hill, in a currently Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift world.
Yeah, I mean, they were in a post-Tyreek Hill world last season, and they won the Super Bowl. But the wide receivers this year are just like, they look like they're actively working against Patrick Mahomes. Like it looks like they're trying to not make any play that they can.
Especially that Watson guy. Because that Watson guy also effed up. He couldn't even catch a punt. He couldn't down it at the 1 yard line. He messed that one up too, right after a third down drop. That guy sucks. He sucks. He's terrible. Get off the field.
Yeah, it's not good when McCole Hardman got, I think, released by the Jets and like immediately is playing for the Chiefs
Again? Oh, he's back. Oh boy.
It's not good. I do think that though, MVS, that was a bad throw. That was a bad throw by Mahomes.
Well, Patrick Mahomes, who is a great teammate after the game, would confirm that take. Here is Patrick Mahomes doing his best to not throw his entire team under the bus.
That one downfield and Marquez won. Just didn't come away with the ball. I mean, I could probably throw a little bit shorter. He was that open. So, yeah, you just got to continue to try to get better and better.
Yeah, underthrow him, Patrick. Underthrow him a little bit.
Let's be honest.
Get defensive pass interference.
Let's be honest, Sean. We all know what Patrick Mahomes wants to do to Valdez-Scantling, to that Watson guy. Hell, to Travis Kelce, who's more focused on his lady in Argentina, you could argue, than he is on football right now. He wants to put all three of those people in a room. We could call it a jail cell. And then he's going to introduce two new people to that room. And they're going to have to sit in here for a week because this is the worst punishment you could have. Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes are going to hang out with them in one room for a week. And I think that'll get them focused.
Welcome to hell, buddy. As the cell door closed.
Oh, boy. So, look, the Chiefs look mortal. And I'm not so crazy to say that the Houston Texans are going to win the AFC or the Super Bowl now. But things feel more possible than they did going into last night's game. And honestly, they feel more possible than they did in the first half because I was thinking to myself, damn, Kansas City's defense is good. When did this happen? They got really good all of a sudden. It was really difficult for the Eagles to make anything happen. So, with Kansas City looking very mortal and the AFC now very, very tight, Baltimore's the number 1 seed. They beat the Texans week 1. Chiefs, Browns, Dolphins, Jaguars, who the Texans beat, all now 7-3. I thought to myself, since this is my last show before I go to Florida for Thanksgiving, I figured we should pull out some hacky radio bits. And nothing says hacky like using Thanksgiving food to deliver a piping hot sports take. Oh, this turkey, it ain't dry. It's moist. It's perfectly cooked. I'm about to give you something beautiful. So if we're going to power rank the AFC based off of the teams in the conference and Thanksgiving food, here's how it's done. Chiefs, number 1. What are the Kansas City Chiefs? You might be thinking to yourself, what kind of Thanksgiving food are they? Stuffing/dressing. That's the best stuff at Thanksgiving. Paul, you're just talking about carbs that people used to fatten up turkeys, pigs back in the day. Yes. And I'm a little piggy. That stuff's great. It's hard to mess it up. So maybe you call it dressing. I know that's how they call it down here. Or you call it stuffing, whatever. I think that's the best stuff at Thanksgiving. And yeah, sometimes it costs like, what, $3.99 and it's in a stovetop box. But if you got it really made by somebody who's been doing it for years and years, oh boy, that's my favorite. That's what the Chiefs are. They have a really easy schedule left. Toughest games left are the Bills and the Bengals. They're going to be the number 1 seed. Yeah, they're a game back of Baltimore right now, but they're going to be the number 1 seed. So yeah, Paul Gallant just said stuffing/dressing are the best Thanksgiving food. Number 2, the Dolphins. Who are the Dolphins? The pie. I know they're good. Everyone loves pie. Who doesn't like pie? Is it better than the rest of the Thanksgiving food, though? I think sometimes, yes. Pecan pie, sweet potato pie, apple pie, pumpkin pie, blueberry pie. I mean, they're all good. There are times where I would consider eating an entire pie as opposed to having a big old Thanksgiving meal because pie's great.
But you can't do that.
You can't.
And that the Dolphins, you need to beat a team that's over 500.
Right. And then we can normalize just being a fatty boom batty.
But right now, it's all dessert.
It's just dessert.
Sugary. It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
Pew, pew, pew. Oh, wait. No.
Well, that's the Arizona Cardinals, but hey, that's what the Miami Dolphins are. So they play the rest of the way, the Ravens, Cowboys, and Bills, with the Titans, Commanders, and Jets. Number 3, the Ravens. They're the turkey. Whoa, Paul, wait, the turkey's number 3? Here's why. When done well, turkey is great. Do you trust every single chef with a turkey? I got to say, I don't trust many people with a turkey. It is hard to make a turkey. You can't overcook it. I mean, you got to be really, really careful when you cook a turkey. And I know there's all sorts of different ways to do it. All of those different ways can result in disaster. Whether it's dropping a frozen turkey in what are those
Fryer.
In a fryer and it just blows up on your face, or you just dry out the thing. So, with Lamar Jackson under center, I love Lamar Jackson. This year hasn't been good for him. I mean, if there was a year where he was going to show everybody, prove everybody once and for all that he's a legit quarterback when it comes to throwing the ball, hasn't done it yet. But the Ravens do have the best record in the AFC. And I do think that it's possible for Lamar Jackson to put together a playoff run. However, I understand the skepticism. Number 4, I'm putting the Cleveland Browns here. The Browns are potatoes. They're potatoes. Like, their quarterback sucks, but they're good potatoes. These are good mashed potatoes. Defense is good. Myles Garrett, you could argue he's in the MVP conversation. I'm not sure if I'd go that far. So they're in 4th. Here's where things are about to get controversial. I have the Houston Texans, who are 6-4, at 5 in the AFC, and their comparison is mac and cheese. Some people would argue that mac and cheese is the best Thanksgiving food, but here's my problem. 1, your boy doesn't like cheese. 2, I think macaroni and cheese smells like farts. Yeah, you heard it. I think mac and cheese smells like farts. That is mac and cheese. It's absolutely disgusting smelling. You want to know where I first began to not like cheese? It was in preschool. I'd had Kraft macaroni and cheese earlier in the day. And a preschool classmate of mine, Matthew McSweeney, unloaded a deadly fart. It was the most foul thing I've ever smelled in my life. And I blurted out at the Lutheran Nursery School in Hanover, Massachusetts, "Oh, Matthew, that smells like macaroni." And from there on out, macaroni and cheese, to me, it's a fart. However, a lot of people like mac and cheese. A lot of people like the Houston Texans. I got to say, I'm a little skeptical about some elements of the Houston Texans. I'm skeptical that the defense is all of a sudden good. I like what I've seen of late, but I'm skeptical that it's all of a sudden good. I like what I'm seeing out of C.J. Stroud in the offense, though. Skeptical that the running game is also all of a sudden now good, even though after the last 2 weeks, Devin Singletary is looking like one of the best running backs in the NFL, at least statistically. So they're at 5th. And we'll react to some of your thoughts on this in a moment.
That is going to be the most controversial one.
But hey, everyone likes mac and cheese. And aren't the Texans the media darlings, Sean Mapes, of the NFL? Based off of that one guy that was very upset with the calls that were going against his beloved
Arizona Cardinals. I was going to say mostly, I less so the Texans part of it, more your attack on cheese.
No, but everyone else likes mac and cheese.
And.
So I think everyone's gonna like that I picked the Texans as mac and cheese.
But you also said it smells like farts.
But it does. It does. Well, but
did the Texans smell like farts, Paul? Not the media room, the Texans themselves.
I have no comment on the matter.
Silence is deafening.
6, the Jaguars. They're ham. If you make ham for Thanksgiving, you should be shot.
As like a secondary entree?
It's disgusting. Ham is the worst meat.
Wow.
It's awful. It's terrible. I don't understand the appeal with ham. Brisket. More people should do brisket for Thanksgiving. Some people do. Personally, as a person who grew up in the Northeast, my family does not. But ham for Thanksgiving, sorry. Yeah, you heard what I said. Shot. Sorry, Uncle Laurent. I love you. Never make a ham again. Thank you. The Bills, they're gravy. You can't have the playoffs without the Bills. I need the Bills in the playoffs. I'm sorry. Some of these other teams, Sean, that we're
20 years.
I'm not saying they're going to go far. I'm saying they're going to disappoint, but I can't have the playoffs without the Bills.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you compare it to the other teams here. Steelers, green bean casserole. Burn that bleep with fire. It's disgusting.
I kind of like green bean casserole.
Sean, you know what depresses me is that that was what my family would contribute to Thanksgiving annually. Like, that's what we're contributing?
We're not putting our best foot forward, Mom.
We're definitely not putting our best foot forward. We're contributing some disgusting smorgasbord of like, oh, look, but it's got onion crumbles in it. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's green beans.
It's pretty good.
Green beans are terrible. There's no saving them. You're probably thinking to yourself, Paul, you're just a white boy. You don't know what good green beans are. Probably true, because I'm so used to eating the frozen kind. Blah! Disgusting. That was the one food that if I was eating that at dinner when I was a kid growing up, I would spit that into a napkin. And then I would bring the napkin to the trash and I'd put it in the trash. And I got caught doing this probably 6 times. Don't care. Green beans are gross. Green bean casserole, gross. The Steelers, gross. Broncos, cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is good. They're being slept on. Broncos are being slept on. And then last, the Colts. The Colts are fun. They're fun. It's Gardner Minshew. The Colts are the Chinese food you order when someone F's up the turkey. So there you go, guys.
Not a real playoff team, you're saying? Not a real Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they're not.
Food.
It's not a real. So they're not a real playoff team.
They have to be included, but they're not.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're so fun, and they beat the Texans already this year. So you got to include them.
Yeah. Chinese food can beat mac and cheese.
100.
Any given Sunday.
So much better than mac and cheese.
Any given Sunday.
100%.